Fit for a king. That's what this dish was, once. Sealed in a pot, cooked in secret, served only in Persian palaces. Then it did something food rarely does. It went to war. Carried across mountains in Mughal blood, conquerors bringing their own kitchen into a land that had never seen it. Somewhere in that conquest, a queen walked into an army camp and served it to soldiers with her own hands. That's the moment it stopped being royal and started being everyone's. As it moved through the subcontinent, every region added its own signature. Spices already growing there in abundance. A thread of saffron for the officers. Yogurt. Fried onion. 500 years of small hands adding small things. A secret royal recipe became a street food. And today, by some estimates, close to 1 billion plates a year, plated with tweezers in 5-star hotels and served just as proudly from a roadside cart. The king's dish. Now, everyone's dish. In the 1590s, the most powerful empire on earth wrote down everything. Every tax, every soldier, every dish served at the emperor's table. The document is called the Ain-i-Akbari, and buried inside it is a confession. The Mughals, the dynasty everyone credits with bringing biryani to India, recorded in their own imperial archive that the word biryan was already old here. They didn't invent it, they found it. So if the Mughals didn't create biryani, who did?
Medieval Persia, around the year 1000, its Silk Road cities, Nishapur, Isfahan, were the culinary laboratories of the Islamic world.
And somewhere in one of them, a cook whose name history never kept solved an old problem. How do you make meat and rice become one thing? His answer was radical. Stop watching the pot. Seal it. Meat below, rice above. A rope of dough locking the lid. Then hours of low fire. No checking, no tasting. No way to know. The Persians called it pukht, choked breath. Get it right, and the rice drinks everything the meat surrenders. Get it wrong, and you've ruined a king's dinner. Blind. That's why this dish belonged to palaces. Not because the ingredients were royal, because the risk was. Because the archive doesn't stop with the Mughals. It points further back. 2000 years before Akbar, Tamil Sangam poets were already writing about a dish called Oon Soru. Rice, ghee, meat, turmeric, pepper, bay leaf, cooked for the armies of the Chera and Pandya kings. The Valmiki Ramayana describes rice cooked with meat. And a 12th century Sanskrit cookbook, the Pakadarpana, attributed to King Nala himself, records mamsodana, a meat and rice dish that would look very familiar on your plate today. Even the name we use every day betrays the mixing. In Tamil Nadu, people still eat birinji rice, and birinji is the Persian word for rice. We've been saying rice for centuries without noticing. So here's the real question. When the Persian pot finally crossed those mountains, was it arriving or was it coming home? One more legend, and it's a good one. 1398. Timur's army reaches the frontier of India. The story goes that his soldiers cooked on the march by burying it. Clay pots packed with rice, spices, and whatever meat the campaign provided, sealed and sunk into pits of hot coals. Hours later, dug up like treasure and served to conquerors. True? Unprovable. But notice the pattern. Every version of this dish's origin, Persian palace, Tamil army camp, Timur's war pits, is the same idea wearing different clothes. Seal it, trust it, wait. But the most beautiful proof of that principle isn't a war camp. It's a famine. 1784. Awadh is starving. The Nawab, Asaf-ud-Daula, doesn't give charity. He gives work. He commissions the Bara Imam Bara and hires the starving to build it. 20,000 people. The famine will last 10 years. The building will take 11. To feed them, his cooks fall back on the oldest trick. Enormous vessels, sealed with dough, slow fire, hours of waiting.
Food for the poorest, cooked by the royal method. And the lore says the aroma reached the Nawab himself. He tasted what famine had perfected and took it back into the palace. The dish of kings fed the starving. The starving man's pot reconquered the king's table. Lucknow gave him a saying that outlived him. Jisko na de maula, usko de Asaf-ud-Daula. To whom even God does not give, Asaf-ud-Daula gives.
So how did a Persian dish reach a starving Avdi kitchen? Not through Mughal armies alone. Long before Babur crossed the Khyber Pass, Persian and Central Asian merchants had carried their kitchen down the Silk Road. Sufi mystics migrating into the subcontinent from the 12th century onward brought rice meat traditions with them. And by 1347, the Deccan already had a Muslim court, the Bahmani Sultanate, whose royal cuisine drew directly from Persia. When the Mughals arrived in 1526, they weren't planting a seed. They were joining the stream that had already been flowing for centuries. But the most famous chapter belongs to one woman, Mumtaz Mahal. The same Mumtaz the Taj Mahal would later be built for. The story goes that she visited an army camp, saw her soldiers weakening on plain rice and lentils, and ordered the palace kitchens to create a single dish that could feed thousands. Meat, rice, saffron for strength. Historians debate whether it happened, but the legend outlived her.
Then Aurangzeb pushed south. His Deccan campaigns took Mughal cuisine into Hyderabad,
And the Nizams inherited it all. Every city the biryani touched, it absorbed. Hyderabad. The Nizams turned it into theatre. Kachi biryani. Raw meat, raw rice, sealed and slow cooked together. Aggressive spices. Meat falling off the bone. Palace kitchens reportedly spun the dish into 50 versions. Fish, quail, deer, even hare. One dish, 50 faces. Lucknow. The Nawabs refined it. Pakki biryani. Meat and rice cooked separately, then layered. Fragrant, delicate. The biryani of poets. Kolkata. This is where it gets wild. 1856. The British exile Wajid Ali Shah, Awadh's last Nawab, to Kolkata. His chefs come with him. So does his biryani. But he's now poor and meat is expensive. So they add potatoes. That potato isn't tradition. It's a fallen king trying to keep his dish alive. Malabar. On the southwest coast, Arab traders had been visiting for centuries. Mopla biryani, short grain kaima rice, stronger spices, sometimes fish. It arrived by sea, not by conquest. 4 cities, 4 biryanis, every one of them right. Food is never just food. Every plate of biryani you eat carries 500 years of migration. Persian merchants crossing deserts, Mughal armies marching south, a dethroned Nawab trying to keep his dignity with a potato, a queen who fed her soldiers, a famine that ended up feeding a palace. The saffron in your rice? It traveled the same Silk Road that moved ideas, religions, and empires. So the next time someone tells you their biryani is the authentic one, the only one, remember this. Authenticity is a story we tell ourselves. The real history of biryani is movement, change, survival. Every version is real. Every version is borrowed. I'll see you on the trail. Do subscribe and like our channel.
Here's what the word forgot.